Okay, I'm gonna give it to you straight. Being self aware sucks. It is very annoying when you are aware of the ways you are self sabotaging and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna give you a personal example. Right now, I have some goals that I'm working towards, and day and night, I am constantly thinking about the ways that I can achieve those goals, even to the point where I know I need to rest. I know that I need sleep. I lay in bed. My body tells me to relax, but my mind cannot stop. And it is really hard because I am aware that this is my form of control. This is my way of wanting to control a situation, to control an outcome that I really just need to have faith for. Yes, there is a point where you are working towards and you are putting an effort towards something that you want. Like you can't just pray and then do nothing, but you also can't do all of the things and you've done everything and still keep thinking about ways that you can do all of the things. Because then at that point, you're not really trusting God, you're trusting in your own strength, your own way to be able to provide for yourself and accomplish whatever goal it is that you want to accomplish. And that's where I'm at. And being self aware about that sucks because it means that I have to acknowledge my own weaknesses. I have to acknowledge where I'm failing to trust God and go to Him and be humble and say, I'm sorry that I'm trusting myself more than I'm trusting you. Being self aware is frustrating because when you become self aware, you no longer have excuses that you can hide behind, which do feel comfortable at the time. And sometimes when you're not self-aware, you're just so blind to it that like everything else is against you. You're able to let everything else be against you and not realize the ways that you're playing a role into your demise. That's kind of strong, but that's how it feels sometimes when we are just constantly trying to maintain control of the situation or not know how we got ourselves into that situation. The reality is when you have self-awareness, you start to analyze and say, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that thing. Maybe I should have taken a step back. And that's really hard because then you become accountable. And I'm not going to lie, I talk about accountability. I think it's really important. It's nice when other people hold themselves accountable, but you have to hold yourself accountable as well. And that's really hard. So if you're in the trenches right now and you're like, oh, I don't even want to hold myself accountable. I don't even want to recognize my self awareness. Or maybe you do recognize your self awareness, but you're not going to do anything about it, right? There are people that say, well, I recognize this as my weakness, but like it just is. That's your problem. That's not really not my problem. Like I'm not going to change. I want to encourage you and challenge you that maybe it is okay to change. It is okay to say, okay, I'm not doing the best in this area. I'm becoming a control freak. That doesn't have to be my identity. I can surrender that and have a new identity in Christ. It does mean I do have to give up my own claws in the situation. But at the same time, when you bring it back to God and you let Him be the one to be your foundation, to work through whatever it is that you are struggling with, there's a growth that happens not just in your character, but in your relationship with God, where you learn to walk step in step with Him. When you take your self awareness and you relay that back to God and say, this is what I see, this is what's being shown to me. I recognize the areas of weakness. It's okay that I'm weak, but I want to be like you. And so, the Bible tells us that His grace is sufficient for our weakness. We can't experience His grace if we don't realize we need it. So take that minute to recognize that His grace is more than enough to give us the strength to accomplish what it is that He wants us to accomplish, not what we want to get done. It all comes back to surrender. So, yeah, being accountable, being self aware, it really does suck, but it does allow you to experience His grace at a deeper level that you may not have experienced before.